Today's channeled message comes from Margaret Mead. She just billowed up through my awareness as I meditated. I was listening to some sound healing, and she just showed herself dressed in field clothing and hair gray and looking directly at me. And I was surprised. I've never thought about Margaret Mead, honestly. And I immediately pressed record so that it could be fully present, this channel. And I suppressed the desire to look things up about Margaret Mead so that I could be informed. But then I realized, number one, that wouldn't be a genuine in the moment channel. And also, it would go against her message. And her message is, and of course, Margaret Mead, what I do know is that she's a very well-known anthropologist. And her message today is one of is a reminder that courage is before us. It feels like there is an energy of courage coming through for all of us this week in particular. And what she means by courage is the courage to step outside the bounds of what's acceptable among the people who surround you, to be brave enough to speak your truth without fearing repercussion. But there's more to courage than just speaking your truth without fear of repercussion. And in fact, it feels like she's saying true courage is to speak your truth with the fear of repercussion. So there's no need to eliminate fear, but rather to speak regardless of it. However, there's a second step to it that many people forget that she wants to remind us of. And that is to do so with compassion, to do so without the intention of causing upheaval, but rather just to speak your truth with peace and harmony, compassion and love. To say what you know to be true, particularly when you know that it's true, and to do so keeping the other in mind, not looking for a fight, not looking to push back, but rather just to speak it, to teach through your willingness to speak the truth. And the reason she's the one who's sharing this information, I think, is because I imagine being the gender that she is and being in the profession that she's in and her age, which I think she's past. I'm sorry if she has not. It could be just living energy, but I think Margaret Mead has passed. Even if she hasn't, it's still her energy and it's living energy. And apologies again to Margaret Mead. But either way, she faced incredible scrutiny throughout her scientific career, I imagine, because of her gender and because of her unique curiosities, her desire to solve problems that hadn't been solved yet in anthropology and in existence as a whole. And I'm sure that she had to push through, and I feel from her that she had to push through a lot of resistance in order to be heard. And she did so, but she did so with compassion. And by compassion, I mean she had compassion for those limited around her, for those who couldn't see her value because of her gender. She had compassion for that limitation. I'm sure she also had anger, as we all do, when we sense that those around us are stymieing our right to be fully ourselves. But what she's reminding is that the true courage comes with being oneself and being oneself with the understanding that those around you might be too limited to be able to receive it. And so, in that compassion, you share your truth, you become your whole self with love, with patience. And if you receive resistance, you breathe through it, you step past it, and you continue to share your full self as she did. And that's the message for today. And I think for the week, I think that courage is going to be required, especially today where information is so available and there's so much black and white thinking and either side of the line and civil unrest all over the world. This week in particular may be asking us to find that compassion in our courage, to be present with what we know to be true, to stand with what we know to be true, but to also have compassion for those who don't know the same. Thank you.